fucking mug.
How dare you? Hi, I'm Ethan McKinley, and welcome to the 2-Minute Terminator. Yes, we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. That sweary woman you heard on the other mic is
I didn't know we were recording. It's Ellie Fitzgerald.
and I was getting berated because she wasn't allowed to watch porn. Anyway, this is a family-friendly show, so worry not. There'll be no more trysts into the triple X-rated world of swearing. The porn's stuck in the endless time war between man and machine, and that's why we're here, Ellie, to talk about the Terminator films. We are, in fact, on episode 25. It's season 5. We're now on Terminator Genesis, and we're going from minutes 48 to 50, the 2 minutes bridging that gap.
Ethan, can I shock you?
Yes.
Hit the music.
Yeah, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
Load up.
You didn't do the fourth. Thank God. It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
Yes, Ellie, you did shock me. I am Ethan McKinley, as I told you before the credits, ad infinitum, as I always do. Ellie Fitzgerald, the only female Minute co-host out there. In fact, until now, because now we have Lord of the Rings Minute, and there's another chick. Who is she?
Yeah, but does she look like a character
Also-
out of the film that she's reviewing? Because I looked like John Connor.
Also, there is Burbs Minute, which is out. 5 minutes of Trouble, which is the Big Trouble in Little China Minute. Well, so they do 5 minutes, so they're beating us. So we've now got a female co-host out there, and somebody who does more minutes than us.
What the fuck's going on?
That's quite a lot to talk about, isn't it, in 5 minutes? Maybe just do a commentary on the entire film and be done with it.
Basically,
But
it was rubbish.
welcome.
Next.
We're all part of the same crew. Who cares? I'm sure we'll be guessing on their show and vice versa very shortly. I know. Are you feeling all threatened? The bookends for
Does
this...
she look like a girl?
I don't know. I've merely heard dulcet
Does
tones.
she sound like a girl?
She sounds like a girl. I'm assuming she looks like a girl. If you've only just joined us for this season, everyone, Ellie does look remarkably like Edward Furlong and John Connor. She's got short hair, even though it's now dyed blonde. She always wears a leather jacket and a metal t-shirt.
Yeah.
And has one earring. So you are essentially the living embodiment of the troubled child star, Edward Furlong. It's episode 25. We are going from minutes 48 to 50, the 2 minutes bridging that gap. And it starts with Emilia Clarke asking Pops, what will you do? As they're about to leave him in the year of 1984. And he goes, I'll take the long route. The middle of the scene, of course, is a slight kind of like pissing contest, if you will, between Carl Reese and Pops, the T-800 Terminator, who is convinced he is not a right protector for Sarah Connor and is concerned he's not the man for the job, while he's away taking the long route, as he puts it, like literally waiting in time until his hand grows back, and I guess doing odd jobs around Los Angeles until 2017. How's that going to work out? And it ends, of course, with Emilia Clarke and Jai Courtney, who have successfully travelled through time, spoilers, and arrived in the middle of...
Well, actually, no, we just see the crashing of the car. We don't actually see them arrive yet.
Yeah, maybe they just like appear inside out going...
If you hadn't seen this film, for all you know, they could just arrive as a huge, globulous, gooey mess.
Like the baboon that you thought was a dog
That I
in The
thought was a
Fly.
dog,
Although,
there is
in
a
the
dog
second Fly, there is a dog in the second one. It does get teleported and comes out a bit wrong. But don't we all, viewers and listeners? If you want to watch the 2 minutes we're actually talking about, we do have a YouTube channel. Unlike all the other minute shows, girls included and whoever does more minutes than us, you can actually watch Mystery Science Theatre 3K style as we look at the clip, talk about it, and you can follow along. So, on with the show. Ellie, you have notes.
I do.
So do I. Let's do it.
Why does Sarah have a weird smile on her face when she says, "Where will you go?" It's like she's happy.
I think it's just like, what the fuck are you going to do for 35 years, Pops?
But, you know, she was all angry when he first said to her, look, you guys are going, I can't. She's like, what? No, we're all going. And then her mood completely changes. And then she looks at Pops and goes, where will you go? I don't know.
There's actually a weird moment, and it's 1 minute 30 seconds into the clip where they've just like literally gone through time, and Arnold is left behind.
And he looks all
the time machine like rings stop spinning, and he just kind of like looks down, and I thought my clip had broken, but he's actually just staring at the floor for about 10 seconds.
No, he's looking at the time displacement unit, and then he just kind of lowers his
Nice
head.
word.
And I think my actual note is I think he's sad that she's gone. I think this is kind of the first sign in this film of him showing kind of any form of human emotion.
I would believe
or
you.
loss or worry. Like, he might be worried about the fact that she's gone into the future. He doesn't know if that time displacement unit is going to actually work. And he doesn't have a lot of faith that Jai is good enough to look after her. As he says, I have seen little. He does a little shot downstairs, looks at Jai's junk, and says, yeah, I've seen little to suggest
I would.
you are a fit
All right,
guardian.
fair enough. But I would believe you if, and this is a big if, we were dealing with the Terminator 2 Terminator, who actually seemed to learn and become more human as the film progressed, even shown in the cinematography by Conrad Buff, when, as we all know, the machines and Arnold is seen in this very cobalt blue, like cold light, which is obviously I guess a trademark of James Cameron films. And then as he becomes more human, after they swap out the chip, we see him in like earthy tones and like skin color, basically, as he makes his transition towards like Pinocchio to becoming a real boy. However, this isn't that character. For some reason, Arnold's character choices for this film have shown that he's kind of like, he is more robotic. He's been with her for like 12 years. He's had his chip switched, obviously, before he was sent through time by this chip switch, before he was reprogrammed to turn to be sent through time. That was already done. Then he was sent there to protect her. So he's had 12 years to become more human. I couldn't see him being sad that she's gone.
Well, it's maybe not sadness, maybe it's concern or worry. Because, I mean, the fact that he says, I've seen little to indicate that you are a fit enough guardian, that's almost an opinion.
Well, he should have just gone, take your shirt off, Arnold. Let's see who's got the good body now.
I'd still go for Arnold over Jai Courtney any day.
Bearing in mind, this Arnold has got a kind of a glaze of kind of, CG facelift. They have made him look a bit younger in this. This is meant to be like, 33 years earlier, isn't it?
Oh, he's still got the sparkle in his eyes. Look at his downturned mouth. I mean,
I think that's just age.
he's not gurning. I think that there is some form of, I don't know, angst, worry.
Yeah.
Because then, why would you have said, I don't think you're actually going to be any good? I don't feel. It's almost like you're saying, I don't feel comfortable you taking Sarah into the future.
No, I think he's right to say that, but I think
But
suggesting that he
is
perhaps
almost
has
like,
emotion.
do you not think?
I agree. But I think.
I mean, look at, like, physically, you know, he can probably win an arm wrestle in a bar.
Could he?
Yeah, well, you know, he's pretty buff.
Muscles like that are just for show, aren't they? He's not got any like cool. Like if a gymnast could beat anyone. Do you think a gymnast could beat a bodybuilder in an arm wrestle?
It depends. Depends on what weight they were.
Because I
If it-
saw
if
that
it's
show
like
La
really-
Soiree, is it? Or it was called Le Clique in London. And he had lots of people doing like
Cirque du
feats.
Soiree. Cirque du Soir.
No, Cirque du Soir is a nightclub. The Les Soiree it's called now. It was called Le Clique, and it was like a series of kind of like alternative act people, but like legitimate ones, not ones you'd see at perhaps Torture Garden or somewhere, or Cirque du Soir, like proper
actually
people.
with talent.
These men came out in like suits and bowler hats, and they took their clothes off, and they're in like Union Jack underpants. They kept the bowler hats on, then they were doing all this like gymnastic stuff where they did handstands on the other guy's hands, and the guy benched him on his hands like they were both like head to head.
Gymnast bodies are absolutely insane, purely because you use every single muscle that is in your body.
And even well, the
It's
under
kinda
was it the
similar.
under muscle or the core muscles, right?
Core. Yeah, core is key.
Yeah. Well, that's true strength, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think one of those guys could beat a bodybuilder in arm wrestling?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I've seen Over the Top with Stallone, and yeah.
Anyway, so
I like both Arnold and Sylvester.
there was. You said you preferred Sylvester.
No, I think in terms of a body of work, in terms of having more better films, Sylvester Stallone wins that hands
And then
down.
what about the body?
Uh,
He won Mr. Olympia how many times?
Fair enough, but Stallone now, even though he was busted recently, I think in Australia for stupid inhuman growth hormone, so he's clearly on the roids.
And also, going back to what Bill Burr says, if you think about where they've come from, Arnold is quite far. Stallone was born in America, had all the.
Oh no, I'm not saying that, but I think in terms of like
Australia, could barely speak the
an
language.
entertainer, I think Arnold's always kind of been there. The only thing that scuppered Arnold's career really was when he left to do Office in 2003 for that like 8-year stint. Was it till 2011 or 12?
Yeah, but
And
he had an ambition. He did it.
I know, but Arnold has always exactly. So Arnold's always remained in the public eye. Every few years, Stallone gets kind of like pushed out of the limelight, and he always manages to fight his way back in. Literally, like Rocky himself. He's always.
Really do much. If Stallone
He's a
was
great.
out
He's
there,
a really good writer. He's a great actor. He's directing stuff. He's amazing.
This is all film. This is all contained in film. What Arnold did was he first broke bodybuilding, then broke film, then broke.
I'm going to break the internet by saying, and I've said it before.
Can't say that. Family show. See, I'm learning restraint.
You opened it with "fuck you, Ellie."
Dude.
Oh shit.
I didn't know that you were recording.
We've just gone R-rated. I'm not editing out either.
So yeah, anyway, going back to the first part that we've obviously discussed, I thought that it was quite. I don't know. I wouldn't expect Arnold to make a comment about another man's junk, where he looks down and goes, "I've seen little." So does that mean Jai's not packing? He's got that big beefy.
Well, that's what I mean.
body,
That
small
again, back to Arnie's performance, like the
Maybe
character
that's why
choices.
Maybe that's why Sarah's disappointed that it's him.
Well, yeah, I don't know. The character choices Arnie's made in this, I'm not sure what the intention was because he's more emotional. Sorry, I was bamboozled then by that moment at that 10-second pause where he just stares at the ground. I was just trying to. Why did he do it? I think the person editing it just let it overrun too long. Because I don't think it conveys sadness.
I'm sticking to my original opinion. Spoldner, considering you're the only person that ever writes in, what do you think? Do you think the Terminator is experiencing some form of human emotion, or is it just that someone who was filming this just...
He would have
filmed
it by
for too
now,
long?
though. He would have it by now, wouldn't he?
Have what by now?
The Arnold Terminator from Terminator 2 has more emotion at the end, or begins to understand his humanity in commas, versus this guy who's been around for 12 years, living around humanity, raising a child, essentially. I guess maybe he was semi-programmed to do that. However, I think he'd have a bit more like pep and zinginess.
Okay, I get that, but also we haven't actually seen Arnold, aka the Terminator, in this that much. Whereas in Terminator 2, it is all about Arnold and John. Whereas this, we've seen Sarah and Jai way more. The only scene that we've seen where he could have shown emotion and he didn't was when she's hugging him. But he's saying, "I don't understand. It's a pointless thing if you hug someone when you're saying goodbye."
But Sarah Connor's performance denotes that she's obviously been maybe, I guess, homeschooled, kept off the grid, and raised by this machine. So she has that kind of weird coldness to her.
But she also does show him affection as well.
She does, because he's the father figure. However, in reverse, Arnold, or the machine itself, that would have been some form of child like Data, I think he'd have a few more kind of like wacky, idiosyncratic elements to his character. I don't know, it's not Arnie really, it's just maybe the way he's directed, although they didn't really have a focus of what the story should be.
Even though it's a Terminator and it doesn't have feelings and emotions, the fact that it has nurtured this being for 12 years and now he has just seen her shoot off into the future with someone that he doesn't have a lot of faith
That he wants
in.
someone to shoot off into her with. Oh my god!
It's because I mentioned the word porn at the very beginning.
Blah.
It's my fault. There would be some sense of, not that's my child, but I nurtured that thing. And now I am sending that off to an uncertain future. And I'm not going to see her for however... I think that there is some form of feeling.
There is. And I agree, because you've got it in the speech before he says this, and then he says, "I'm not sure if he's the right guy."
Purposely looking anywhere but his job.
Hang on, let's rewind that.
She's like,
Okay.
ah.
See, now you'd get thrown out of drama school class for that.
Was that really bad?
That's demonstrating. What they do is like imagine this if you've never been to drama class anymore. And they'll go, "Oh, pretend it's a hot day," and people start going, "Whoa," and like wiping the foot and going, "Whoa, oh, sweat." Yeah, it's called demonstrating. You wouldn't act that way. You just look a bit perturbed, or you do something super subtle.
Does this very over the top. I'm looking up here and then I'm looking over there.
Yeah, which isn't, no, like she's good at acting and
I'd
stuff.
have just pointed down and gone.
Oh my god. I'm going with him. She should have just mushed Terminator out of the way and went, "We're leaving."
I'm staying with you. Pops, your dick's way bigger. Sorry. Yes, and then she sheds her clothes Joy goes to give her a hand up. Once again, she's this sassy girl. She just walks straight past. And then they're stood in this thing, face to face. But then when you actually pans from the feet up, for some weird reason, Sarah's on tiptoes. Play it. And I thought, is that because she wants to make her legs look more shapely? Because she's completely naked.
Let's give a good line.
Yeah. If you... No,
Is
you
it before then?
back.
Oh, further back. Alright,
Okay,
she's stepping up.
Here we go. So there she is, and then you see the feet, they pan up.
Well, they
and
might
for
have
some
asked her
weird
that because
reason-
she's as tall
Look.
as you.
Why is she on tiptoes?
I don't know.
It's a bit weird.
I think they must have left that shot in there by accident.
Oh, and I think I just saw Joy ever so quickly just take it off the tubes. Ever so quickly.
Probably did it.
You would.
They did it offset.
After this, they must have. Or maybe before. Because
Well-
when they do crash into...
They both lift off the floor with the time bubble, so there's no gravity in there. I'm assuming she's thinking she's prepared to do that because she's on wires, and they left that shot in a bit too long. They really should have had her flat-footed. Also, I think when they're together, if she stood on her tippy toes, she would have looked a bit taller. But I would just put her on like an egg box. Why they kept her that small in the film?
My legs around him and held on.
Well, usually in a film, they'd make you kind of like look taller because I think Brad Pitt's 6'1" and Tom Cruise is about 5'9". And I know there's a famous story from Interview with the Vampire that, like, I think they had to cut a trench in the floor when he was walking next to Brad Pitt, and they put like boosts in Tom Cruise's shoes.
I heard that you rarely see Tom Cruise feet in films because he's so short, so they give him like shoes.
Yeah.
Like booster shoes.
Well, if there's a famous Top Gun image when Tom Cruise is with Kelly McGillis, and
He's not hot.
he's in cowboy boots.
With quite a heel.
Yeah, basically. I'm going to try and type it into Google now so Ellie can see it, but Tom and Kelly Top
Whilst you're
Gun.
looking for that, another thing that I thought is when they're stood in that thing and they're waiting for the time displacement to fire up, if just at that last moment, the silence, if Joe had just grabbed a tit and gone,
and did the noise.
yeah, that'd have been amazing.
Yeah, here's the picture, Ellie. If you notice, she's like slouched down and she's on one foot and he's got the cowboy boots on.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like those boots? They're yellow. So you never see these in the film. Tom Cruise wears these really bizarre... They've got red legs, yellow foot and a green toe. And it doesn't go with the rest of him. You'd never put that boot with him. And I always
They're
thought
like,
it was
they're
such a...
Rasta boots.
Yeah, it basically,
Red,
yeah,
yellow
the
and green.
Jamaican flag colours, is it?
Because
No.
Jamaicans
No,
are
Jamaican's yellow and green, isn't
renowned
it?
to
Is
be
that Brazil?
cowboys. No,
Red,
no, I'm-
green and yellow is Jamaica, right? That's the Jamaican flag.
I just thought it was the Rasta boots.
Jamaican flag is black, yellow and red. No, that's
Black-
Germany.
have
Oh, I
no
don't know.
idea.
Don't put those two flags together, Ethan. Remember what happened 40 years ago? Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is, listeners, the first film, although technically not really true. This is the first film in which we see the time machine that Arnold comes through time with, or goes through time. They actually physically show it. They actually, as I've said before, if you've just joined us, they're actually going to have this machine in Terminator 2. And the design actually was reused or recycled for the Jodie Foster 1997 Robert Zemeckis film, Contact. So that thing you actually see in Contact was meant to be the actual time machine from Terminator 2, which they find within Skynet. They take a T-800 out of storage, they reprogram it, and send it through after the T-1000. In this, obviously, you see it. And they kept one element of it, which you see in this clip. When the time machine is powering down, you see the rings, which, like, you know, when a coin is in its entropy, when you spin like a coin and it starts to fall, you see that at the end of this. As soon as they go through, the discs just stop spinning. Basically, yes, that's exactly. And we just
Spinning a pound coin. Like that bit. Yeah.
1 minute 23 seconds, we actually see them kind of come to their final resting place. But that idea, which they
the
carried
big
over,
idea?
what's the big idea? They carried over basically from Terminator 2. It was considered way out of the budget. That was already a $100 million budget film at the time, the most expensive film of all time, I believe. But it made its money back, unlike Heaven's Gate, which I think was $40 million, and it got back $40,000, the biggest flop in history, by Michael Cimino, who made The Deer Hunter.
When was this film? But this film came out 2015?
15, yes, we saw it last summer. The last summer, so yeah, a year and a half ago. It was April, actually, 2015. I remember, we saw it at Dorking Halls.
We did indeed. So at the very end of this 2 minutes, we kind of pan into, what is that, Los Angeles?
Yep. I'm not sure what
Oh, no,
freeway
it's
it's
no,
on.
it's San Francisco.
Exactly. So we
Is
have
that in
Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles?
Yeah. It is in California. It's Northern California there.
Oh, okay.
Because where San Francisco is, Ellie, if you drive, I think, about 200 miles out of San Francisco north or northeast, you come to Willow Creek, which is where all the Bigfoot
Which
sightings
is
are
where
from.
I am going to go one day, and I'm going to get one of those backpacks. Although
I'm not sure if Bigfoot's real anymore.
Dude,
I know.
just don't say
Do you know what? From doing my other podcast, Questionable, and speaking to some people from cults and religions and monster hunters.
They're the ones that are so deeply into
Not
it.
necessarily them, but the comments under the most popular videos.
They're like the
There's so many kooks out there, and we all know people that kind of embellish stories to make it sound more exciting or try and do it because they need a friend and they want some attention.
It's like the people that call into Coast to Coast. Sometimes you'll get some proper redneck, and you're like, oh god, you've just lost.
Are you referring to the other Bigfoot show I sent you?
Yeah.
And you're like, this isn't David Politeness.
It really was not.
This doesn't sound legit.
But just because of that, it doesn't mean that Bigfoot doesn't exist. And I don't think that you'd ever really be able to capture or prove it because it's a thing of mystery.
Well, the
it's
thing
magic.
science does kind of acknowledge is the orang pendek, which are those hobbit people from the island of Flores. I think it's down in like the Sumatra area.
Are
Which
they
is,
the ones that come out at night time?
well, that's the legend of the Menehune people who are
That's it.
from Hawaii.
And they're, like,
And if
makers.
you see like the lights on the hillside, you like either get the fuck out of there or you kind of hide or you cover your face so you don't see them if they go past you, because people apparently disappear. That's the legend. But there's one in the Pacific Northwest of like little people who are like super dangerous that the Native Americans said like stay away from them. They're human, but they're like super tiny and they're like mischief makers, like leprechauns almost, and
But
they'll like
they're
lead you to your death.
They're like
Malevolent.
they're like proper creators. They make things. And
Well, I think the Native Americans claim they kind of sprang from them. They're like an offshoot of them, but apparently that's not true.
anyway, we've massively digressed from Terminators to Bigfoot.
Hey, it's alright. It's the end.
What do you think of the effect of the hand in this scene of Arnold Schwarzenegger? I did
When
actually
he
want to
pulls
mention
the thing,
this before.
when he pulls that thing down, I'm not sure if the thing he's pulling down, the kind of the stairway down, if that's CGI, because it looks kind of like weird.
That was my question. Is this CGI or have they actually made a metal hand?
No, I
That-
think
that's so nice.
Arnold's got a green screen hand and they just matted over it. But the way maybe it's just the way the hand connects to the gantry he's pulling down out of the way. It just looks a bit fake. Not the hand itself, just the movement of the gantry or the stairwell coming away from the time equipment.
Yeah. Maybe. It'd be nice if they'd actually put some kind of.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the bit at the end where he drops
when
it
it's
down.
when he slides, yeah,
That
he does
bit, yeah.
that, yeah,
It's almost too fluid.
yeah.
Too fluid, Arnie. We've got you.
Also, I mean, we've mentioned this before. Whenever a Terminator's completely like bereft of skin, they'd have no grip on their hands. They should have some kind of like padding or some kind of like texture. Just some like almost like a tire. You've got some kind of grippiness on the
To
hand
be
part
fair,
here
though,
to
we've
actually.
never actually looked at a Terminator's palm or fingertips. So it
We
might-
have, because when he pulls off his arm skin in front of Miles Dyson,
Oh yeah. I want you to
he
listen
turns it
very
like that and then he
carefully.
turns it to the camera. And in fact, I think the episode we actually do that on, I actually freeze frame that as the episode artwork.
You know what? It looks better because it's an actual metal hand.
That is actually a metal hand. But yeah, if you tried to pick anything up with that with sheer, clean, like chromed metal, you'd have no grip
It's
on
the same
anything.
as when the Terminator with the ball.
Episode
wheel.
T2051, so season 2, episode 51, T with the Terminator, was actually a nice fat picture of Arnold just showing, look at my hand. And as you can see, as you all know already, Terminator fans, there'd be no way he could actually physically grip anything.
Have you seen the image and the little bit of writing that John Nichols has put on our page?
Yes, where's Ethan and Ellie? I'll be actually back on Facebook by the time John Nichols hear this, and you'll have heard the reason why we're away. I was blocked on Facebook for posting a spicy Donald Trump versus Hillary meme. I think they're both crazy. I wouldn't vote for either of them myself. I'd vote for a third-party candidate as a vote of no confidence in the democratic system. So I'm not
But
picking
it
anyone.
has been released. Again, people will say, "Oh, it's not real. It's speculation." But there was an article that was released. WikiLeaks exposed a load of emails that Obama had sent, and also the fact that there isn't actually an election. They've already decided who's going to win the election. It's not decided by the people at all.
Oh, I know
I
that.
posted the thing on my.
Yeah,
on my
we all
hobby
know that.
stream.
But that's happened in every election. When Bush got in, Bush Jr.
Oh, completely. They already.
George W.
they
Club
al-
W. I never went to the wall.
They already know who's going to win, but they have to do this big like.
Rudimentary kind of debates
Oh,
and
we're
blah
gonna make all
blah.
the drama and it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, Donald Trump raped me
Yeah,
when I was
but
7.
yeah, because the people actually in power aren't really the power. They
No,
take
of
their
course
orders
they're
from the
not.
banks and
Yes,
the
it'll be
military-industrial
the Federal
complex,
Reserve, by all means.
which is not federal or reserve. How do we know
No.
this, Marina? Because we're
Because-
conspiracy theorists. But yeah, to all our new listeners and people writing in, well, just Spalding really. And John Nichols, yes, we've been moving studios. Ellie's in between houses at the moment, and I've been working very hard for the last couple of weeks.
To Birmingham. Why have I come to Birmingham? Like, what's the sole reason, Ethan?
Well, the reason we're actually leaving right after this show, or maybe the second one if we can squeeze it in, we're going to see John Carpenter, the legendary auteur film director, who's, well, not now a musician, always been a musician that kind of went into filmmaking and had a great career.
If you like
But he
a fat
scored,
synth.
he scored all his films for the most part, except
That's
for The Thing.
Halloween.
Ennio Morricone did The
Christine.
Thing,
Oh.
although he's playing that as his music, but I guess it's his film, but it's not his music. The Ennio Morricone who did the Spaghetti Westerns
Oh, did
and
they
the
do
Untouchables.
music?
Yeah. He tried to ape John Carpenter's style and it kind of works,
Yeah.
but he didn't do... Yeah,
I wonder if he'll perform it too.
he will.
Did you have anything more that you wanted to add to this 2 minutes?
I don't. Just going to say thank you all for listening, everyone. If you please tell your friends and you yourself, if you're listening, like the Facebook page, leave us a review on iTunes. It helps the show grow. And yeah, we'll be back every day. As much as we do these live, so a lot of minute shows pre-record them, which I think in hindsight would have been the best thing to do.
Well, life happens.
Life does happen, and apart from all the other minute shows, we've actually gone through the other films. Apart from Star Wars Minute, we're the only ones that have gone through all the sequels of a particular franchise, and we're going to
Dude,
continue.
We've done 5 seasons.
I know you say
No
that
one
like it's a
else-
chore.
No, I say it like it's a ridiculously huge achievement. I cannot believe I've done 5 seasons.
I just wish Kylie. We guessed it on actually Ghostbusters Minute, so
Which
Ghostbusters
was
Minute
awesome,
84.
by the way.
I thought I
Really
stank.
enjoyed that. Why?
I don't know. I just because I had loads of things I wanted to talk about, and they kind of like we've got to wrap it up. I was like, oh no.
Dude, we spoke loads.
I know, but did we speak loads about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
mainly about Ghostbusters.
Okay.
It was great.
And I was like, Jay, do you remember in the early days of the internet, you just couldn't get away from child porn? And I was like, oh my god.
There was about 5 minutes where you went really dark, and I was looking like, Ethan, these guys are American. They don't like this stuff.
I was trying to talk about the early days of video nasty censorship.
And then you started saying all these videos that you used to watch as a kid, and I was like, oh god.
Well, because my brother used to date a chick whose dad ran a video store, so I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all the like weird, Fulci kind of era cannibal movies and stuff.
Then why did you bring paedophiles into it?
Because when the internet started, it was kind of like that. There was no kind of regulation to it. So when you tried to download a piece of music or movie on Napster, you got all these creepy fucking videos and stuff. It was really weird. That's what I was saying. That's all changed now.
Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, last night, that's all I've enjoyed the most.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright.
Last night was awesome.
Okay. Well, we've asked to be on again, and we should be. They're like, we
And they
like.
want us to go on their Jurassic Park.
I would go on that.
Yeah.
Like it's going out of fashion.
And,
I'd do a week on that. I want to do 5 20-minute segments for Jurassic Park.
Why don't you just do a podcast with them?
I will. Anyway, we'll return tomorrow with episode 26, and hopefully if my notes are correct, Marty, it should be 50 to 52. So we'll be back then. Thank you all for listening. Go on the YouTube channel, subscribe there, follow us on Twitter, like the
us on
Facebook page, check out all the amazing photos and videos we've got there. Not child porn, all Terminator stuff, relax. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Watch out for machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines. They will go, go, go.